Hello all, welcome to another quick learning. Today we're going back to CodeSignal to work on the database SQL coding exercises. If you're joining this in the middle of the playlist, I'll put a link in the description below so you can start from the beginning if you wish. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to the arcade, going to databases. Then we're on this last section here, table of desserts, and number 83, battleship game results. So in the two-player game Battleship, each player takes turns guessing the position of the other player's battleships on a 10x10 playing board. When a player correctly guesses a grid that contains a segment of an opponent's battleship, the ship is damaged. If all the segments of a ship have been damaged, the ship is declared to be sunk. You're evaluating an ongoing battleship game and have two tables. The table location of ships contains the location of one of the player's ships. This table contains the following columns. So you just got an ID, which is a unique ID. The upper left is the X coordinate of the upper left. Upper left Y is the Y coordinate of the upper left corner. Bottom right X, the X coordinate of the bottom right. Bottom right Y, the Y coordinate of the bottom right corner. Okay. In this task, there can be these types of ships. So there's a 1x1, 1x2, etc. Number of ships of particular type is not fixed, but it's guaranteed that they don't overlap. The target squares of the opponent's shots are given in another table of opponent's shots, which has the following columns. So just an ID of the shot and the target X and Y. All the coordinates in these tables are 1-based. The goal is to return a table that describes the current state of the game for each class of ship, for each different size. There should be a row containing 4 integers, a ship's size in the column size, the number of undamaged ships of that type in the column undamaged, the number of partly damaged ships of that size in the column partly damaged, and the number of ships of that type that have already been sunk in the column sunk. The results should be ordered by the size of the ships. All right, so for a given table, this is what the location of ships looks like. So that's X and Y coordinates of the upper and the bottom. And then these are the opponent's shots. So if you've never played Battleship before, so you've got a hidden screen and you have these different plastic battleships that you can put horizontally or vertically somewhere in this grid. And then the opponent tries to guess where those ships might be. And if they guess it, a person will say hit, or if they hit all segments of that ship, they'll say sunk. All right. So how will we go about doing this? So in this, I'm going to first look at this subquery. So the first part just calculates the size of a ship using this location of ships data right here. So it's either horizontal or vertical. So if you so this one you can see is 1-1 to 2-1. That's horizontal. So in the Y direction, so if we did upper left Y minus upper right Y, 1 minus 1, it'd be 0, and there's 0 length in that Y direction. But if we look at the X direction, you'll see there's 2 minus 1, which is 1, but you have to add 1 to get the length because it doesn't count that first cell when you subtract the two numbers. So that's why this gives you the size of the ships. So it's calculating what's the distance in the right, in the X coordinates, and what's the distance change in the Y coordinate, and then adding 1. Like I said, for this one, 2 minus 1 is 1, but you can see the length of that ship is actually 2. So that's why you have to add 1. All right, and then we're doing this sum calculation to see where the hits, if there were hits or not. So there's a hit if the target X is between the upper left X and bottom right X, and the target Y is between the upper left Y and the bottom right Y. So you can see this 1-1 is a hit because 1-1 is between the upper left X and the bottom right X, it's inclusive of the two endpoints. And also the Y is between these two, 1 and 1, inclusive. So that's a hit. So if it's a hit, it's going to give you 1 for this calculation. Otherwise, it's going to give you a 0. So it's going to sum up all the hits there. All right. So then you take this and you create a query on top of that. So you can see you already have the size. So it's grouping those by the size. You can see it's in the group by here, and it's also ordering them by the size. So that gets them in the order they want. Now to get the undamaged, you just sum up where the shots equal 0. So if this evaluates to 0, that means it didn't get shot. The shots is between 1 and the size -1. That means it's been hit, but not hit in every segment of the ship. So like here, this has been hit, but it didn't get hit in all 3 locations of that ship. So that would be a partially damaged one. And if the shots equal the size, like this one, so this is a size 2 and it has 2 shots on it, then it's sunk. So that's how that code works. If we go ahead and run the tests, you'll see that that code does work. And hopefully you guys are able to follow along with the logic of that, and you'll join me for future videos. Thank you very much.